just do it for Miami Dolphins.
The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown.
Throwing deep upfield on the near side, man open. Touchdown! Looking deep, he's got a man. Touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. He's got it for a touchdown.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan.
Let's go!
What is good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. Shout out to the homie King Z305. I hope you had a blessed birthday, my dude. I hope you're doing good. It feels like, I see y'all in the chat saying let's go, and I hear the intro of the let's go, and it's like, I guess that's the theme of this channel. We got a good one tonight. We're gonna go over, like, it just keeps leaking. I don't know what else to say. First and foremost, you gotta give props to this. How do I say this? Hold on, give me a sec here. You got to give props to you got to give props to the work of some of these journalists, man. And and I know you might be wondering, well, who is Reason talking about right now? Well, again, we showed on the finish line. I waited until the finish line to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it at the beginning of the week, but I wanted to save that one for the finish line. But you see the job that Aditi Kinkabala has done. She did with the sideline report, and then if you guys didn't know, she was on a podcast this week, and she was, again, talking further in depth about the whole McDaniel, TUA, Flores dynamic. And, it's going to be the first thing we kick off when we get into things here. It's mind-blowing. It's either sabotage or the most incompetent coach and coaching staff I've ever seen in my life. Like, the proof keeps coming out. They either sabotage this kid or they didn't know what the hell they were doing with an offense. It's either the most incompetent coaching staff we ever had, or they were sabotaging and holding to his back. I'll let you be the judge. I mean, I'm still in shock. Like when I heard this yesterday, because someone tagged a bunch of us in it, and I listened, I was like, this is crazy right now. And that might be the first thing we actually lead off with tonight before we do get into the game preview. On top of that, man, there's interesting stuff coming out of 49ers camp today. We'll talk about that when we get into the injury report. And, we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to go keys to victory, offensive and defensive, like we've been doing for the third season now on Finside the NFL. We'll do my in-game matchup to watch. Format's been the same. It's just gotten better every year, right? So, on top of that, we are going to obviously take a look at the weather. We'll do all of the jazz to get y'all prepared. We got big updates on Terron Armstead. Austin Jackson, we already knew what the deal was, but it looks like Terron Armstead is not going to be going this weekend as well. We got updates on that. We got some kind of a Byron Jones update. I guess he's not traveling. We got some kind of a Byron Jones update. I'm not holding my breath because I'd have been dead by now. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to get into, man. And Kyle Shanahan giving some serious praise to Tua Tagovailoa. It was absolutely fantastic. I was watching Shanahan's pressers this week as well as our own, and a lot of respect for that guy, man. And it's just crazy when a couple years, when we all knew what was wrong with the Flores and Tua dynamic, because remember, Inside the NFL was the first to break that. I was breaking the Flores to a dynamic. Remember, if you remember, back in May of last offseason, right? Before a lot of these new channels even existed, I was breaking that stuff. And you know, it's just crazy to hear things continue are continuing just to trickle out and trickle out and trickle out, and it's embarrassing, to be quite frank, to be real, quite frank. I mean, I want y'all to think about it. If we would have got this clown's way, Tua Tagovailoa would not be here right now. We also wouldn't have Tyreek Hill, because remember, Brian Flores, it takes no talent, and he said multiple times in Zooms he doesn't believe in star players. They wouldn't have paid $30 million and traded for Tyreek Hill. Anyone telling you different is out of their mind. And I'm telling you right now, they wouldn't have traded for Bradley Chubb. He would have wanted to spend that money on the back end. That would have been spent on the secondary. You're seeing a different philosophy with the coach, right? McDaniel's told y'all, if you listen to his pressers, he said, one of the things he said, right, is if he could draft an edge rusher every year in the draft, he would. And this is coming from an offensive-centric coach. But from the scheme he comes from, right, what they ran in San Fran, what they ran wherever he was, that zone scheme relying on the front seven to be stellar, you know, it makes sense. That's why I've asked the question to Richmond and Ball Game and all the people up here on the channel. I've asked multiple people, right? Even David Frones, do you think we're moving to a zone-based defense eventually? Because look at the money that's being spent up front. They're going to have to eventually extend Jalen Phillips. Now, I know that's I know that's 3 years away, but they're going to, right? They're going to pay him. So, it's interesting to watch how this is all unfolding. So, man, we got a lot to go over. We got a lot to go over tonight. Shout out to Larry showing love. What's going on, man? Florida born. What's good, homie? Been a minute. Can I turn up my mic a tad? Yeah, no problem. There you go. How's that for you? Is that doing better for you, Liz? I actually noticed that when I uploaded the video, I noticed my mic was a little low. So I appreciate you for reminding me. Where the homie foxing around at? I saw you, homie. Shout out to Denisha too. Shout out to all you. Let's go through. Let's do. It's a Friday night shout out. Let's do that. I'm gonna start from the top here. Fidel Castro, shout out. He said Tua is him. I mean, I might not agree with your political views, but let's go, baby. I agree with your football views. Duke Tomlinson, Samuel Rosa, James Steele, Marino's Goat, Barry Bailey, Mark Papelka. Ooh, that rang off the tip of my tongue tonight. Shout out to Liz, the Dolphins fan. Will Zane, Ohana, TYY, Trucker Sean. There's the homie Foxin. Jaggernaut, Herm, P. Jaggernaut, you gotta let me know. Does that have to do with like Jagermeister, or just are you out there being different? Gerald Rodriguez, Richard Blackstone, Jay Hag, who's deep in Niners country. Good luck to you, my friend. EM Dolphin fan, send him your best wishes. Both of his brothers are hardcore Niner fans. Chris Solo, Robert Thomason, D Hugga, what's good, homie? Rami, Bill Winborn, Garrett Grimes, Denisha, South Florida Don. What's up, Don? How you doing, brother? Much love to the homie Don. That's my guy right there. Paulie King, Hank, Justin Vandenberg. Bro, I love it. I'm going to say it like Vandenberg. William Youngblood, Newfoundland. And I'm saying it like that because, bro, that's just such a poshy name. That sounds like something like, if any of y'all were Seinfeld fans and you remember Mr. Big. So that's what reminds me of Savannah Big. What's going on, J-Boy? How you doing? Kenneth, Joint to Joint. Alu, how you doing? And I hope I didn't butcher Alu. Shula Forever, what's going on? Bones. Been a minute, Bones. Hope you're doing well. Coach T. Bates, how you doing, Coach? Salute to Coach. Aladino, Gary. What's good? All right. Hold on. I'm almost got Tank McBride. I ain't going to forget you. All right. We caught up now. Now you can't say I didn't catch up. What's going on, everyone? Please do me the huge favor. Smash that like button. Mo, what's going on, Mo? How you doing? Alex, just smash the like button, man. If you want to donate, hey, paypal.me/Finside. Super chats available. I appreciate all the donations. It truly does make this channel better. As you can see, the growth around you has been, right? You've seen it before your eyes. You actually see your dollars at work on FinsideTheNFL.com and Finside the NFL. So shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to Q. Shout out to Filemo. Shout out to Mario. Hey, but listen, I don't need donations. Listen, it's the Christmas season. I get it. If you want to donate, I appreciate everything you can do. But just smash the like button. That's all I need you to do. Smash the like button. I'm not going to ask you to share it and tell your friends because we all know you ain't going to do it. If you want to do it, salute. But I ain't going to be that guy. You know what I mean? But I know smashing the like button is something we are all capable of right now. That's easily one click. So, and subscribe if you're new. I appreciate it. If you'd like to join or become a patron, I just had a update on Terron Armstead yesterday. And it seems it's not going well, and I'm going to check in and have another update for y'all tomorrow, because that update that I had was I was told he was getting fitted for, and he was trying to work through potentially with a brace to aid him, and that he was legitimately trying to go. But hey, at the same time, and then I shared some information. I had a private conversation with Dr. Jesse Morse, and I provided the details of that private conversation, including screenshots for all of y'all to witness there, just from a doctor's point of view and someone who's actually trying to work with Armstead, and you can see in what capacity he's trying to work with Armstead on that Patreon update. So appreciate all of the patrons, all the members. The light went on this week. I know what I'm doing for all of y'all. I'm going to do a weekly video for patrons and members only. All right. And I know what it's going to be. I pretty much have it down. And I know what day it's going to be. So more information coming to y'all about that. All right. Yeah. Roy Smith says, love the hoodie. Well, you know what's on the way, my friend? Do you know what's on the way, Roy? I don't think you know what's on the way, Roy. Because, Roy, it's about to get real in the Reason household. It's on the way. It's getting shipped. Priority, baby. You already know it is, so I can wear it in front of all of y'all. And it's going down. You know what's coming. You know what's coming to Reason. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is this. That TUA's The Night Before Christmas Miami edition also comes in Alabama edition. That's coming. I got that thing's in the mail, baby. All right? You know your boy Reason gonna be decked out. I got my Santa hat over there that I've had since I was like, man, I want to say 17 or 18. So I've had the Santa hat that I'm gonna bust out tonight for like 19 years. So I'll bust that out. And because it's got the old logo, it's got man, I love our old logos. They're fantastic. Got the fantasticness, so don't worry. It's only December 2nd. I might even bust it out this weekend on all y'all. I don't know. But 'tis the mother effing season, baby. And it's that season that we stack up wins and we get into the playoffs. That's what the season is. And as usual, like I do every year, this year I will be doing right before Christmas my special open panel show for all of y'all where, hey, I want to hear what y'all want under the Christmas tree. And don't give me the obvious. Like, points go out to those who are creative. I might even do a giveaway for most creative answer because everyone's going to say playoffs, and we all want the playoffs. But, or Super Bowl. That's so obvious, Be creative. That's all. Creativity. So we all want that. We all want that. So we'll be doing that this year as well. A lot of stuff. Tis the season, baby. And then remember, on Monday, we'll be doing the giveaway, the 10K giveaway. We'll be picking 3 winners. 3 winners. Well, how do you enter? Simple. You got to be subscribed to the channel. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Then you got to go back. Yeah, you got to do some work now because you slacked if you didn't watch it. You got to go back to episode 619. You got to smash the like button on 619, which is the 10K subscriber celebration. You're going to have to leave a comment. So you're going to have to leave a comment on episode 619, smash the like button on 619, and you're going to have to leave a comment and be subscribed, leave a comment on that video, and I will be picking 3 winners. One will get a hoodie, well, a sweater, so yeah, there's options. One will get a sweater from InsideTheNFL.com shop. One will get a t-shirt. One will get a mug. And then to celebrate, I think for Christmas, I want to give away a Dolphin, I want to give away a game ticket. I'm going to give away something. I think I'm leaning towards game ticket, but I'm going to do a second giveaway around Christmas, and I don't know what I'm going to do then, but I'm going to try and do that one live. So I'm going to give away a ticket or 2 live, or memorabilia. I don't know, but it's going to be something good, but I'm leaning towards a game ticket before the end of the season. So I'm probably going to be a game ticket. You know what I'm saying? Just to give back. So, yeah, total 4 giveaways, 3 on one shot on December 5th. And then 1 will give away around Christmas. I'm thinking might even be during the post game of the Green Bay game, because the post game show of the Green Bay game, because it'll be Christmas Day. You know what I mean? Might as well give out a gift on Christmas Day. So, that's what the plans are. We got a lot going on this month on InsideTheNFL.com. It's the 10K December giveaway. Let's go. Anyways, look at Ronnie knows what's good. Ronnie, where is my halo, brother? Ronnie knows what's good. Where's the halo, brother? And I ain't talking about a Beyonce song. Ronnie says starter position. Hey, bro, jolly old Saint Nick ain't got nothing on reason, bro. All right? Let me let y'all know. I'll put my beard up against his any day, too. Just give me a comb. We're good to go. All right? Let jolly old Saint Nick know what the deal is, bro. And if you got an issue, bike rack 3:30 tomorrow. Let's go, baby. All right? Go. And you can bring Rudolph for backup, Saint Nick. I'm down. Down. Like Charlie Brown, baby. Let's go. All right. We got a lot to go over. Let's start off with, you wake up every day and, it's one thing to look it's one thing when you see some of the people in the fan base find new levels of incompetence and idiocy. But when you find new levels of incompetence and idiocy coming from your former head coach that at one time you supported, because remember, I started going out on Flores in the offseason of 2021. So last offseason, right? Not this one that just passed, but the one before that, when I started feeding y'all info on the Patreon and through this channel, and I started hearing things that were just rubbing me the wrong. Like, remember what I heard about the PED stuff. Y'all want to forget about how I heard about the testing that was going on and the random testing that it's believed that Brian Flores, had something to do with. And I was hearing that back again heading into last season. So in that off season, I was just like hearing these stuff and I was like dumbfounded by, I'm like, this guy can't be this stupid. There's no way. This guy can't be this stupid that he's going to pit himself against the quarterback and it's going to turn into this. Sure as the sun comes up in the morning, that's exactly what it turned into. And even when I gave that report at the beginning of November, that bombshell about what was going on backstage and stuff like that on the Patreon and stuff, last November, funny enough, 13 months ago, just exited the month where it would have been a year. And what's crazy is if you read my blurb after I give all y'all the info that I was given, in my blurb I say, yo, this feels like coaches are putting out information. This is turning into a sides are being chosen. Like, it felt like an assassination attempt. And I even brought up, and I linked in that report, Chris Sims's article, and I even said, because Chris Sims had a video, I forget what it was, but it was clear as day with what I was reporting, what Chris Sims was saying. Chris Sims was getting fed info from someone on the coaching staff. It was clear as day. It was so obvious, and I said it in the report. And, and I said, this is clearly this is camp versus camp. And then if you remember, another thing I reported was there was an argument between someone in TUA's camp, and I couldn't tell y'all who, and I still to this day haven't told y'all who, because I'm not going to put them out because TUA's still around, and basically a high-ranking Dolphin official. And, man, I heard it was being brought to Flores' doorstep and then Stephen Ross's doorstep when they didn't like what they heard from Brian Flores. And, I reported, a high-ranking Dolphins official and, a member of TUA's camp. Now, I'll say the member of TUA's camp was bringing it to Flores' doorstep, and then when that person didn't like what they heard, they brought it exactly to Stephen Ross's doorstep. And if y'all remember, the same thing happened during the combine that TUA came out of. If y'all remember, TUA's camp started leaking stuff to Safid Dean, and I know who the leak was, and I've said who the leak was on this channel before. And I said it on the Patreon who it was before. All right? That person basically came out of that TUA interview and said, what the F was that? 2 calls were made. One to Safid Dean being like, I don't know what's going on here. Second phone call to Stephen Ross saying, what the F was that we just sat through? I thought y'all wanted Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. So, anyways, now, just when you think there's no new levels, you hear this stuff. Listen, we talk about Tua's superpowers. What have I said to all of y'all? This kid can be elite efficiency, elite accuracy, high football IQ. What have I said? Keep your highlight reel, big arm quarterbacks. Give me that combination, that recipe, and I can build a dynasty off that, and I can win multiple championships, and I'll beat that big arm guy. And you know who I'm talking about, Justin Herbert. I could beat him 9 times, 10 times out of 10. Tua's already 1-0, and he ain't even where he's at right now. But I digress. You give me that, I can win. And we talk about Tua's superpowers: accuracy, anticipation, ability to manipulate defenders since his eyes, footwork, pocket presence, release. I'm getting into 6 superpowers here, right? Okay, I can go on and on about Tua Tagovailoa and his superpowers. But that's what people are talking about when you hear. Now just talk about those are the superpowers. We got literal proof and evidence that this guy, that these clowns that were running the building were either the most incompetent coaches that we've ever come across or legitimately sabotaging. And if you go back, that's a word I never even wanted to use, even when I was reporting and I knew stuff about the PEDs, when I was reporting what was going on. Remember, I was the first one to report the blow-up between Flores and Tua in the Titans locker room. I was the very first one to report that. And now that I'm seeing this, and remember, people were mocking Tua because of what I told y'all. Remember what I said? Tua straight up said to him, paraphrasing, but you can't talk to people the way you talk to people. And then people started mocking him and trying to make Tua look like they tried to make him look like a bitch and say, oh, you can't talk to me this way, blah, 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 blah. Remember when I reported all that and people started trying to flip that? Okay. Anyways. And then you saw Tyler Dunn talk about it in his article. And we're going to have Tyler Dunn on next week. We're going to talk about the Raheem Mostert stuff, right? We're going to talk about the TUA Brian Flores, and we're going to get his opinion. We're going to hear. He talked to Isaiah Wilson. He talked to Isaiah Ford. He talked to all these different players and got true opinions about. We're going to hear it all. So next week, we're going to have that on. Anyways, just when I think, now these guys were, I was always reluctant to use the word sabotage. Always. Because I said, man, if you sabotage a kid, no one's going to hire you if they find out. You're done. That's career suicide. You know? Then I go and find out he could have came back for the Colts game, but they put him on IR because they wanted his boy Jacoby to play. You know? Again, thanks to Nick Hicks, who was breaking the info about what was really going on with Tua's golfing situation on that day behind the scenes. Certain people were out here trying to tell y'all lies about the golfing situation. And I was telling y'all exactly what went down with the golfing situation. Because I knew someone who was freaking there. People try to spin it, right? And we knew what the deal was. Early morning tee off to send a message to Stephen Ross and Chris Greer. I'm ready. This guy's holding me out. And think about this. This guy was on a losing streak. The ship was sinking, and Flores still wanted to go to Brissett. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then when we find out what I'm about to show you, no wonder. No wonder. What a clown. And anyone who supports Brian Flores, you're telling on yourselves. You're telling on yourselves. Like I've been saying for weeks now to all of y'all, because I see y'all out there. Take your L's. It's funny to me. I've been saying this for weeks. Funny to me that the Flores apologists are the same ones who are the Tua haters and doubters. What irony. Take the L's. Flores wasn't the guy, and Tua is. You're wrong on both accounts. Move on. I don't need sorries. I don't need apologies. Just admit y'all were wrong and let's move on with our life. The guy's not even here. Anyways, I'm going to continue to show more proof that you're foolish if you support this. Foolish. And you're telling on yourself.
Able to figure out ways to make quarterbacks play better. So he wasn't so worried about the offense. It was more the defense that he actually spent time with. Then he got around to looking at this offensive line that obviously was much maligned, and he got around to looking at Tua. And he's looking at Tua, he's seeing all these nuanced things that he just can't believe weren't taken advantage of. And I'll give you an example of one. Mike McDaniel told us that he thinks that Tua is better at visually moving defenders than perhaps anybody he's ever been around. That was something that Tua was legitimately discouraged from doing a year ago, the previous coaches that were with him. So Mike McDaniel sees this on film. Exactly. So Mike thinks that this is a gift. That's what he called it. He said, this is a gift, the way that he's able to do this. But a year ago, Tua was working with a staff that didn't necessarily see that as a gift or view that as an asset. And think about this, Lindsay. We've all been in positions.
You know what? I'm going to say it. I should have been in the building. I should have been the offense. They don't think it was a gift. They discourage it. That was one of his best traits, and that was one of his most translatable traits coming out of college. What are these guys on? And these are the people some remaining lunatics want to still defend? Are you crazy? Are you crazy with me right now? You want to defend that? You want to defend that idiocy, that incompetence? And shout out to Diddy Kin Kabbalah for just throwing down the hammers. Like, this is ridiculous. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they almost pulled the wool over my eyes with the Charlie Fry situation, but I saw through it pretty quick. Wow. Wow. One more time, because I can't believe this is real life. One more time.
able to figure out ways to make quarterbacks
This is
play
real
better.
life.
So he wasn't so worried about the offense. It was more the defense that he actually spent time with. Then he got around to looking at this offensive line that obviously was much maligned, and he got around to looking at Tua. And he's looking at Tua, he's seeing all these nuanced things that he just can't believe weren't taken advantage of. And I'll give you an example of one. Mike McDaniel told us that he thinks that Tua is better at visually moving defenders than perhaps anybody he's ever been around.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
That was something that Tua was legitimately discouraged from doing a year ago. The previous coaches that were with him. So Mike McDaniel sees this on film. Exactly. So Mike thinks that this is a gift. That's what he called it. He said, this is a gift, the way that he's able to do this. But a year ago, Tua was working with a staff that didn't necessarily see that as a gift or view that as an asset. And think about this, Lindsay. We've all been in positions.
Bro, I'm ready to bang my head off the wall. I can't believe this is real life. Especially when he's so good at it. Look at how much me, Martin, have broke it down on the film this year of him moving defenders with his eyes. He's been killing defenders with it this year. Like, this is the only reason I could see you discouraging from that kid is you don't want him to do well. And then if you don't want him to do well, then I got to use the word sabotage. And I ain't talking about a Beastie Boys song. And I've been so reluctant to use that word, man. Even when I was feeding all info about what this guy was doing behind the scenes. And I've been so reluctant to use that word. Like, what else can you think of? And, you know, Aditi King Kabbalah is a good journalist and a good reporter, man. You know, this is real life, man. I can't believe this is what we're dealing with. Like, my God, my Lord, and people defend this guy. Unbelievable. Good riddance. The stuff that keeps coming out, bro. Good luck to you ever being a head coach again. My Lord. All right, let's preview this game. I'm mind blown that actually happened. Unreal. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the preview. It's ugly stuff, man. That's ugly stuff. All right. So the weather for this week, it is going to be mostly cloudy all game in San Fran. Looks like it's going to be hovering around 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is going to be at 77 at kickoff, drop down to about 76. There is about a 22% chance of precipitation, and like it said, mostly cloudy. You can see the cloud cover is going to be ranging from anywhere from 72 to 78% throughout the game. So it is going to be a cloudy day with possible light rain in the morning to potentially muck up the field a little bit. So we'll see how this ends up rolling out. Hopefully it's lightweight rain and not heavy rain. But either way, I think this is going to be a game where Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert, they're going to be looking to make it work on the ground. Also, tomorrow, I'm trying to work it out. I got my brother-in-law's birthday party and such, but I'm trying to work it out. I might have something with a familiar 49ers content creator for all of y'all who's been on the channel multiple times before. So I'll see if I can get that worked out. If not, I might get him on for like for a post show. We'll see what the deal is. All right, heading into the injury report for the final injury report that was released today. This is what it looks like. Austin Jackson, he is out officially. Terron Armstead is doubtful. So it's I don't know if I don't think he's gonna go. Ronnie knows what time it is. Yes, the croc man. He was just out of town this week. That's why. So we're trying to see if we can make something work for tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like Terron Armstead is doubtful. So I don't know about that. I don't know about, hey, no Jordan Love slander, okay? I loved Jordan Love coming out. And if y'all saw what he did with the Green Bay, he was slinging it when he came in for Aaron Rodgers a couple nights ago. Anyways, no Jordan Love slander on this channel. Teddy Bridgewater is questionable. Myles Gaskin is questionable. Everyone else, full participant. Okay, here you go. This is where it gets interesting. Elijah Mitchell, he's out. He ain't coming back, okay? Deebo Samuel did not participate today with the quadricep injury. He was downgraded from limited to did not participate. Arik Armstead is limited. He's going to be going. Arik Armstead's going to be going. Everyone else is pretty much expected to go. Christian McCaffrey said he's going to be going this week. Everyone who's limited looks like they're going. All right? But, ladies and gentlemen, what's not on this report, but what could be huge news, breaking if you haven't seen it yet, the practice report would come out today. This is 5 hours ago. Trent Williams left to the locker room after O-line warm-ups because of a back issue. So he's not on the injury report, not even limited. But Trent Williams had to leave during warm-ups because of a back issue. That is a potential huge development for the Miami Dolphins, especially for that pass rush. That already looks like it could be going hard. And yeah, Hank Spasm, there you go. Hey, let's see. Listen, at the end of the day, I want them at their best. I want to beat their best. So I want Trent Williams out there. I encourage Trent Williams to be out there. Too bad Armstead won't be able to go, but be a nice little opposite of the ball. Everyone talks about quarterback, but that's two elite left tackles that would be who would hold off against the pass rush better, But this could potentially be huge, so this is something to monitor heading into the weekend, and it didn't make the injury report, and, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. It's going to be very interesting to see how this works out. Even if Spasm, you think, he would have been technically limited today, right? Or out. So the fact that they left that out is kind of intriguing to me. Intriguing. So Trent Williams, he left to the locker room today after warm-ups because of a back issue. So something for all of y'all to potentially monitor as there's multiple potential big misses for each team this weekend. All right, how do these teams stack up? We know we're a defense that likes to primarily be aggressive and run man, while they're a zone front-based. That front seven is so studly there, but they're a zone-based defense. Let's get into this, how these two stack up by the numbers, because defensively, this is why you got to take these guys serious. Don't overlook these guys. I see a lot of people trying to write off the San Francisco 49ers. No. In their this is not what they were a couple years ago. Let's stop this right now. A couple years ago, people got to go back. I don't even want to hear about that game a couple years ago, all right? Because first of all, we had Byron Jones. Second of all right, their defense, they had a guy out there that Fitz was picking on that was a 5-year practice squad player and had never played a real snap. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. That game was a disaster for them. They were so depleted. This is a much better and different team. All right. Let's say that. Let's put that out there first and foremost. So underselling the 49ers, big no. That doesn't mean we can't win though. All right. Continuing. This is how these two teams stack up. All right. You look at total offense. This is the number 3 against the number 10 offense. And again, Jimmy G ain't lighting it up, peeps. But Jimmy G does enough in that offense to move it, right? So the Dolphins average about 386.7 yards per game. 49ers average about 358.5. You look at passing offense, the number 2 passing offense, the Miami Dolphins, heading in to face the number 10 passing offense. This is 291.9 yards per game for the Dolphins, about 234.2 for the Niners. Rushing offense. Hey, we're working our way up there, man. We're getting closer to 100. I'm telling you. Here we go. It's coming eventually. 94.8 yards for the Dolphins, the 28th. They average about 124.4, 11th best. Scoring offense, the Dolphins average about 20. Imagine them. Look at the rushing. Imagine if we had a top 15 rushing offense. We'd probably be the number 1 scoring offense and the number 1 total offense in the NFL right now. Anyways, 94. You see, like 94.8 yards. It's ridiculous. Scoring offense, it's the number 6 against the number 15. Dolphins average about 25.6 points per game. They average about 22.6, so about a 3-point differential. Sacks allowed, Dolphins have allowed 23, which is 8th best. They've allowed only 19, which is 5th best. Third down offense, they are the 6th best third down offense. They convert at a 45.7 clip. Dolphins converting at about a 40.8 clip, which is 13th best. Now, this is where it gets real interesting. This is where it is really lopsided. Defensively, the 49ers are the number 1 total defense in the NFL. They're allowing about 281.7 yards per game. So what is that? That's about 105 yards less than what the Dolphins offense is currently gaining. Dolphins defense, meanwhile, is allowing about 343.4 per game, only about 15 less than what the Niners are getting. Passing defense, they are the 11th best passing defense. Now, again, the Bears were the 5th best passing defense when we went in against them. Sure, were the Texans crappy? Of course, but they were the 14th best passing defense when we went against them. So we've gone against top 5 and top 15 passing defenses heading into the game. They are the number 11th. They're allowing about 202.3 yards per game. The Dolphins, though, they're allowing about 233.8, which is literally only 0.4 off of what the Niners are gaining right now. Rushing defense, now, the Dolphins are allowing about 109.5 yards per game, which is 10th best. They're allowing 79.5. And I want to talk about this for a sec because the rushing offense and defense is something that I've been talking about, throughout the week. Shout out to James Dudley for joining the Pro Bowl level. Anyways, something I want to talk about here. All right. For me, people need to be a little bit wary of this. This is very deceiving. All right. And what I mean by this is this. We shut down anyone who tries to rush in the gaps. We will shut you if you try and rush in the gaps. Okay. No, it's easy peasy for us. It's nothing to us. All right. We will shut you down in the gap. All right. And now every team blends gap and zone. That's just how it works. All right. That's just the way of the NFL. When you're an outside zone, like we run gap too. You're not going to be totally to one. Anyways, where I'm going here is because they are because their preference is the outside zone like we do. They got backs that can get to the edge really quick. We've been terrible at containing quick backs to the edge. Breece Hall killed us. How was Justin Fields killing us? He was getting out to the edge. He wasn't killing us like Lamar Jackson when he had that huge run against us. That was like up the gap. And Fields gave us some trouble when he went up the gaps, but he was getting to the edge a lot on us. We were having problems setting the edge and containment. And that's why I need to see this in action. If they're going to send Christian McCaffrey and these guys up the gap, sure, we will shut them the hell down. I got to see it in action yet because I haven't, that they can stop elite ball carriers who can get to the edge. Because everyone knows I thought Breece Hall was elite coming out. Everyone knows as a ball carrier, Justin Fields is elite. Christian McCaffrey is an elite ball carrier. Okay? And just for an example right now, okay? Christian McCaffrey has 58 rush attempts on the season. All right? 18 of those are in the gap. 40 of those are zone. Jeff Wilson, before he came here, 59 zone to 31 gap. Right? When they used Tevin Coleman, again. So like the guy who goes to the gap the most for them is actually Deebo Samuel. He has 11 zone runs to 17 gap. But you look at, like, for example, Tyrion Davis-Price, the rookie. That guy, strictly zone runner. He has 16 rush attempts this year, and it's 13 zone to 3 gap. So we got to set that edge. Containment is key, man. Containment is key. All right? And their rushing defense, I mean, look at 79.5 yards per game they're allowing. That's just like, come on, man. That's just not fair. That is just not fair. Like, you look at Chicago, right? And against Chicago, they only allowed at 99 rushing yards. They only allowed 28 rushing yards to Justin Fields and 48 to Khalil Herbert and about 26 to David Montgomery. They kept him in check. So, I'm just saying. Let's get this done, though. Let's get this done. And, I mean, you look at another guy they faced too, right? Probably one of the best pass catchers this year, Austin Eckler. They held Austin Eckler to 24 yards on the ground and 39 yards in the air. And Austin Eckler has been an absolute monster this year. Just saying. Scoring defense, they're the best. They only allow 15.7 points per game. We're 19th. We allow 23.3. It's a lot of ones in a lot of categories you don't like to see. Sacks, they have the 8th most sacks. They have 33. We have 25. People are really sleeping on this team, man, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. Everyone's going back, man, 2 years. Do you think what happened in 2020 is relevant to right now? Stop bringing that stuff up. It's ridiculous. But Nick Bosa got 11.5 sacks right now. Like, it's ridiculous. Remember, I loved Drake Jackson, that rusher out of USC. He's already got 3 sacks on the season as a rookie. Charles Omenihu, who's playing this weekend, he has 4 sacks. Samson Ibicom, who's quite vastly underrated, he's already got 3.5. They'll get after it. They will get after it. All right. Now, third down defense, look at a little chink in the armor there. When you look at the 23rd rank, they're allowing a 41.6 clip, and we're converting at about 40.8, so that's right around each other. We're allowing a 41.7 clip, lower than their 45.7, about by 4 points. Takeaways, they have 14, which is 14th best. We only have 11, which is 25th best. Giveaways, the Dolphins have only given away the ball 11 times, which is 4th best. They've given away 13 times, which is 13th best in the NFL. So, I really don't understand why people are really, and they're at home. I wouldn't undersell this team. This is a talented team we're about to face, guys. This is going to feel like a playoff game. I got it. If we blow them out, hey, I'll love to be wrong, but I don't think I will be. I feel like this is going to have a playoff atmosphere. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. This is a big game. I mean, it's going to be coming out later tonight, but my podcast with Neil Driscoll, I said this is the biggest game, I think, since, this is bigger than the Tennessee game. I think this is a better team than the Tennessee Titans last year. And I think this would really set us up to run the table and set us up for the playoff run. I think this is a huge game. I think this is the biggest game we played since the win and you're in against Buffalo. I think this is that big of a game. So let's see. Let's see, man. All right, let's get into the keys to victory. As always, we will start off with my offensive keys to victory. And let's start off. They don't have the corners to keep up with Hill and Waddle. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Their best corner is Jimmy Ward, and he's in the slot. Charvarius Ward, Demondre Lenore out of Oregon, stop right now. Now, I am a fan of their safeties. I like Hufanga, who's a great in the box, and Deshaun Gibson was good like 3-4 years ago. And I do like Jimmy Ward, but he's in the slot. I don't think they got the corners to keep up with us. I really don't think they got the corners to keep up with us. So, number two is you're going to have to find a way to neutralize that Niners pass rush. I mean, Nick Bosa already has 11 and a half sacks. I mean, I told y'all what time it was already with that. Now, when you look at pressure-wise, I mean, Nick Bosa already has 55 pressures on the season. All right? He's also got 27 hurries and 17 quarterback hits. The guy's beasting. Menhu has 39 pressures. Ebicom has 26. Drake Jackson, when they use him, has 14 already. So that pass rush can get after it, man. And you're going to have to find a way to neutralize it with Terron Armstead doubtful and Austin Jackson out. If you got to send an extra guy to that side to chip and help out, so be it. Whether it's got to be Ingold, whether it's got to be Smythe, whatever it may be, you're going to have to send some help. And our running backs are going to have to do a good job when they're asked to block too. Mostert and Wilson. And I'm sure Wilson will be just fine. Not worried in the slightest. And then again, for me, third down, TUA has to cook. We just went over the numbers right there, right? Like, one of their weaknesses is the third down defense. They're allowing a 41.6 conversion rate. So that tells me I think we can go about 60% on third down against them. Let's cook. They're weak on third down. Exploit it. Third down, TUA is cooked. To be quite frank, I would hope we would be turning our first and second downs into first downs, and we don't see very many third downs. But when we do see third downs, cook. You're going to have to cook, baby. So, quite frankly, they don't have the corners to keep up with Hill and Waddle. Like I said, that could be my matchup to watch every week. Hill and Waddle versus whoever's corners we play. Find a way to neutralize the New Niners pass rush. And third down, TUA has got to cook. All right? Let's get into the we'll hop on over and we will get into the defensive keys to victory for our boys this weekend in the Bay Area. All right, defensively, don't let Christian McCaffrey get his legs under him as a runner, as a catcher. Listen, everyone knows how I feel about Christian McCaffrey. All right, I love the guy. I think when he's on, you're talking about one of the best football players in the NFL. Not just best running backs, football players. And, injuries have slowed him down, but when he goes, my friend. And, he's a stud. Christian McCaffrey is a stud. I don't know what else to tell you. He's a bona fide stud. And, this year at home, he's averaging, 8 yards a carry at Levi. So anyways, right now on the regular season too, if you look at what he's doing this year, guys, he's averaging 4.2 yards per carry. But he's also averaging 8.1 yards per catch. He's a deadly guy, and you're going to have to, that's Christian McCaffrey is, our defense is going to have to be on their A game. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are going to need to be difference makers. When you look at their offensive line, now I know, what's his face? McGlinchey is getting a lot of, Mike McGlinchey is getting a lot of, he's given up 5 sacks. He's getting a lot of slack, but he's only given up 18 pressures. That's not even the worst on the team. The worst on the team is Aaron Banks. He's given up 21. Trent Williams has only given up 10 pressures this year. So we're going to have to find a way to generate pressure, and we're going to need, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. And I'll throw Melvin Ingram in there because he's been fantastic when he's been working. And Duke Riley's even added a little bit to it too. But we're going to need that pass rush to be difference makers this week. You really are. Because, you look at Jimmy G this season. And Jimmy G, when he's under pressure, he's only got a 57.3 completion percentage. And he's thrown 3 of his 4 touchdowns have been when he's under pressure this season. So, pressure. All right? Like his NFL passer rating when he's kept clean is 111.5. It drops to 77.1 when he's pressured. So, we're going to have to find a way for the pass rush to be special today. And then tomorrow on Sunday, And then second level coverage needs to be on point. All right. Listen, you're going to have Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield, and you're going to have Greg Little coming across. And they're going to be running intermediate, shallow crossers and deep crossers. The crossers are coming through the middle of the field. Second level coverage is going to have to be on point. Linebackers, safeties, whoever's asked to who's going to be patrolling that second, you got to be on point. Second level coverage is going to need to be spot on. All right? So, that's the offensive and defensive keys to victory for me. All right, now my player matchup to watch is going to be this. I picked our offensive line against their front seven. With the amount of pressures they're getting in their front seven, with what we've been doing again, like just a reminder for all of y'all, if y'all forgot, Nick Bosa has 55 pressures. Amenhu has 39. Ebicom has 26. Drake Jansen has 14. Kevin Givens has 12. Fred Warner has 11. They get pressure. And then, Nick Bosa got 11.5 sacks. This is going to be a massive matchup. And why it matters, even more too, is because we've gone over it every week this season, right? During our Monday recaps. TUA under pressure this season, right? He hasn't been picked off yet under pressure, but his completion percentage vastly dips. All right, we're talking about a guy when he's kept clean, it's about a 73.3 completion percentage. When he's under pressure, it dips to about a 55.9. Now, The adjusted completion percentage is about 75, but drops happen, errant throws, etc., etc. So, you're going to have to keep the kid clean. And, another reason, when he is kept clean, all right, Tua this year has a 73.3 completion percentage. Right? He's 15 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, a 9.4 yards per attempt, which dips to 7.7 when he's under pressure. Has an average depth of target of 9.8, which dips to 9.2 when he's under pressure. And his adjusted completion percentage is actually 80.5. So he cooks when he's kept clean. So keep Tua clean, and we will be fine. Everything will come together as long as you keep the kid clean. All right? Everything. Just keep them clean. All right. Let's get into Barry Jackson's recap today of Mike McDaniel's press conference, because there's some interesting tidbits in here about Byron Jones and stuff too. So, here we go. Well, the Dolphins will definitely be without their starting right tackle, Austin Jackson, likely without their starting left tackle, Terron Armstead, on Sunday. The status of their backup quarterback remains in doubt as well. Teddy Bridgewater, who has missed 2 games with a knee injury, was listed as questionable. He was limited in practice for a 3rd day in a row on Friday. Coach Mike McDaniel said Friday he's not sure whether Bridgewater will be ready to make his return and serve as the backup quarterback on Sunday. In Bridgewater's absence, rookie Skylar Thompson has been used as the Dolphins' backup quarterback behind Tua Tagovailoa. He's working through it. We'll see, McDaniel said Friday when asked about Bridgewater's status for Sunday's game against the Niners. He's still on top of the game plan as much as he always is, if not more, but he's balancing his time spending more than he ever has in the training room trying to get right. But, we'll see how it responds, and I'm ready for either backup quarterback. Also on the injury report, Jackson was listed as out. Armstead was listed as doubtful, meaning Greg Little and Brandon Shell will likely be the team's 2 starting tackles on Sunday. Myles Gaskin, who is nursing shoulder and ankle injuries, was limited for the 3rd day in a row and is questionable. But Raheem Mostert, who missed last Sunday's game with a knee injury, is no longer on the injury report and will play against his former team with fellow running back Jeff Wilson Jr. Here we go. As for corner Byron Jones, he won't travel with the Dolphins to the West Coast for the 2-game trip in California against the 49ers on Sunday in Los Angeles. Chargers on December 11th. Jones has yet to play the season after undergoing surgery in the ankle Achilles area in March. He's focused on getting right, McDaniel said to reporters when asked about Jones. Just when you guys don't expect it, that's when you'll see him. You know what? He actually told me he's only going to come back when you guys stop asking me. So McDaniel having fun with the situation. Again, I'm not holding my breath in any stretch of the imagination. Dolphins left guard Liam Eichenberg, who will miss the 4th game in a row Sunday after injuring his right knee in the team's win against the Detroit Lions on October 30th, is eligible to come off the injured reserve and make his return next week against the Chargers. But McDaniel said Friday that the timetable for Eichenberg's return is still being worked out. I don't really know at this point the exact date, McDaniel said when asked whether Eichenberg will be ready to play in time for next week's game against the Chargers. I know he's working hard. He's got injured when his game was as strong as it's ever been. He was making some plays, doing his job well. I mean, that's the difference between him and Austin Jackson. Eichenberg looked like he was turning a corner. I think he's very confident because of that. I think we'll see him sooner than later. As far as if that'll be next week or the following, I don't know. Road trip, the Dolphins will fly to California on Friday and stay there for more than a week as they begin a 2-game trip on Sunday against the 49ers before traveling within the state to take on the Chargers on December 11th. That will keep the Dolphins away from home for a while, but also give players a chance to further develop relationships beyond the football field. This is a great opportunity for our team to bond, Tua Tagovailoa said. We'll be out there and it'll just be us. And I would say as captains and with our leadership council group, we don't think it's necessary that when we do get downtime away from football, guys stay in the room or, hey, I'm tired. Like, no, dude, you can sleep when it's time for you to sleep. Let's get guys to go out and let's do things with our guys, whether that's finding a basketball game to go to, trying to find a box, trying to go rent a movie theater, trying to watch a baseball game, whatever that may be, Top Golf, I don't know. We'll try and find some things that we can do that'll help us get closer with the guys on the team. Just as the team heads out on a 9-day trip, pong table was back in the Dolphins locker room on Friday for the first time since it was removed after the team lost 2 in a row to fall to 3-2. Miami lost the following week, but has won 5 in a row since. When the tables were initially removed, McDaniel explained Tyreek Hill and the captains decided they wanted to take a step forward with all our opponent prep with regard to the team and with their preparation with our game plans in general. So he made the move to take the ping pong tables out of the locker room. Hill said playfully at the time that he simply wanted to upgrade the quality of the table and order a custom-made one. He did have a custom-made table delivered to his home in recent weeks, but that wasn't believed to be the one in the locker room on Friday. So, there's your update. Continue to not hold your breath on Byron Jackson until you see a legitimate change. Eichenberg, especially Robert Jones struggled this past weekend. So you might see him come back in, right? Now, it won't be this week, but Eichenberg looks like he is on the path to being back in the next few weeks. Could be as soon as next week. Now, look at what Kyle Shanahan said earlier this week about Tyreek Hill and then Tua Tagovailoa. I found it very interesting. He gave some serious praise to Uno.
Start accumulating the speed, guys like Hill and Mostert and all that. Did you kind of see that this is coming? And what's it like watching kind of your offense executed with all of that speed? How much does it jump out on?
Oh, it's cool to watch. I mean, right when he got Tyreek, you knew how much that was going to help. I mean, just Tyreek's, there's a number of fast people in this league, and to me, he's different than everyone else probably ever. Just the physicality and speed he runs with. So just some of the things that they can do with him is cool to watch. But, the question was watching Tua in the offense, and I wasn't totally sure of that. And I remember turning it on in the preseason and watching his first game, and I was like, wow, this guy looks totally different and looks very comfortable. And then turned it on week 1, and I thought he was playing in week 1 as good as anyone in this league, and I don't think he's had a game not like that.
Uniquely good. Like, what's unique about it?
The rhythm of his game, how quick he can get the ball off. He reminds me a lot of guy I was with earlier in my career, Matt Schaub. When that back foot hits, he knows where to look, and if someone's not there, he is hitching right to replace them and letting it rip. If that second one's not there, he's getting rid of it. There's they have so much speed that they blow the top off stuff, which gets some people open underneath. Tua is, to me, the reason that they're leading the league in explosives, because he knows how to hit people over the middle. It's rarely deep. It's usually running and hitting these guys on the move, and there's some really open space with all that speed. And then the quarterback who can drop it over linebackers, who's not worried about safeties, is doing that part of his game as high as anyone I've seen right now.
There you go. Tua, look at the praise from Shanahan. Doing things in his game as high as anyone he's seen right now. And we see it in the film, right? It's happening multiple times a week where he's dropping it over outstretched linebackers, just teardropping it right in the bucket, Waddle had a few drops where those were perfect throws, but huge praise from Kyle Shanahan, a coach that I respect the hell out of. And like I've said for the last, 2 years, while everyone was talking about what Tua could be in Sean Payton's offense because of the Drew Brees comparisons, I was always imagine what he could be under Kyle Shanahan. He could be special. So, I just thought that was massive message and massive tip of the cap from Shanahan to Tua, giving the flowers, rightfully so, man. So, you got to show love. And that's a guy who, just like McDaniel, big time film guru, right? So, absolutely love it. Sticking with Tua, going back we'll head back to the Miami Herald quickly, just to show how impressive of a leader Tua has been. Details on the impressive behind-the-scenes change that Tua and other Dolphins orchestrated. After a road win a few weeks ago, Coach McDaniel said McDaniel told his players that they would have the day off Monday. Victory Monday is what they call in the NFL. And then quarterback Tua Tagovailoa approached teammates on happy flight home with a slightly different message. I remember Tua walking up to me on the phone saying 11 a.m. meeting tomorrow. We're trying to get the whole offense together, Michael Dieter recalled recently. Look at this. And here's what's next. Dolphins players meeting on their day off without coaches wasn't the least bit unusual this season. Tua Tagovailoa has done it repeatedly, including this past Monday after McDaniel gave the team off following the win against Houston. Other team leaders such as Terron Armstead and Landon Roberts have organized many players-only sessions. This new era of Dolphins football has been marked not only by the more offensive fireworks, better quarterback play, and more winning, but also by a renewed sense of initiative among players to prepare themselves in ways that go well beyond what is required. Some of the longest tenured Dolphins, from Jerome Baker to Dieter to Mike Gesicki to Eric Rose, see it. Everything about this team is player-led, Baker said. That's the cool thing about this team. We all want to get better. It's not only the coaches want us to get better, it's the front, not just the front office, it's this locker room. We all want to win and do well, and we're putting the work in to do it. Here's how this dynamic has manifested itself. Whether McDaniel schedules meetings or not, the offensive players come in and meet alone without coaches on Mondays. Tagovailoa has been the catalyst for those meetings. It's good to come in and watch as a group and hear everybody's perspective and honestly how TUA sees it, because that's all that matters, tight end Gesicki said. We're all just sitting here, but he has the clicker. He runs it. It's productive. Dieter explains it this way. In past year, even when players were given off on Mondays, the offensive linemen would come in and watch tape together. But this year, on multiple Victor Mondays, we as an offense came in and everyone watches it, Dieter said. TUA runs it. It's a lot more organized. The O-line will even come in 30 minutes before that meeting and iron out anything that's really specific to us. TUA and the whole offense will get together and see what's good and what we can get better with. It's been fun. It's easier with the guys who have played. Offensive lineman Robert Jones puts it this way. It's one thing hearing the coaches talk, but we're out here playing. Having players communicate how we want it done, how we need to see it, helps a lot. Left tackle Terron Armstead said during his time in New Orleans, I would always have the O-line come in on Monday and watch the film and watch the next opponent and make corrections. He does the same here. Here the O-line meets first, and then the whole offense. We meet and bounce ideas off each other, Armstead said. It's been very beneficial. All season, Tagovailoa has been running players-only meetings with his receivers in the middle of the week. It's twice a week, Cedric Wilson Jr. said. He comes to our room and it's a TUA run, player run meeting. It's a chance for us to talk to each other and learn it in our own terminology as far as what coaches want us to get done. They talk about the defensive backs that we'll be competing against and what could work against them. It definitely helps, Wilson said. If you can get all the communication done before Sunday, you're usually in good hands. That's what good quarterbacks do. That's what usually separates them, the leadership role to get people on the same page with them. Armstead runs the players-only offensive line meeting on Mondays and invites players to work on their craft with him on Tuesdays, the one day off that players always get, whether they win or lose the previous game. Young players have used those sessions to work on technique. That's something I've done throughout my career, Armstead said. I've always tried to make the Tuesday off my biggest day for improvement. A lot of technique work. A lot of guys gravitate to it, looking to improve. I extend the invite to Dolphin teammates the first week. I probably had every guy come at some point. Jones, the young guard, said on those Tuesday sessions, Armstead has helped him with footwork. It helps hearing his thoughts on a lot of things, and it's taken me a long way. Tagovailoa watched Armstead run one of those meetings on Monday, a day after Armstead sustained a pec injury. It was really cool to see him take ownership of that room, Tagovailoa said. Nothing slips. No one gets a free pass, not even himself. With co-captain Roberts leading the charge, the linebackers have added an extra players-only meeting on Thursdays this year, linebacker Duke Riley said. It's going over practice, Riley said, and understanding what each guy sees with the offense they're playing against that week. Things like, if I do this, you can't do that. The thinking behind that, Baker said the emphasis of these meetings is communication, going over what you see and what everybody's concerns are. Just getting that trust in guys, talking to each other on the field. It's a little easier. Baker said there were player-led meetings in past years, but it's emphasized more now. We just wanted to get better, Baker said. We wanted to maximize the potential we have. And safety John Holland has had similar players-only meetings among defensive backs. Thursday, right after practice, we go over our bunch stack rules, get the communications out. Eric Rose said, make sure if we mess up on the field, we go in there and correct it right away. So on Friday, we can get it right. Love it. Helps a lot. Credit to Javon and E-Rob for being leaders with these meetings. E-Rob leads the front seven meetings and Javon leads the back end. It's all separate. The front seven has a meeting. The DBs have their own meeting. And the offense still comes in on Monday and gets work even when we're off. Essentially, it's a credit to the guys we got. So why is this happening? The players, the captains, the leadership council have really stepped up and led this team the proper way. Whether it's meeting by ourselves or hanging out as a group, Noah Benogny said. Sam McGuavin has noticed a change in the team. It's player-led now. A lot of guys get angry if they don't reach their goals. We're more driven now. We want more out of each other. Off the field, there's more camaraderie, too. The Dolphins' offensive linemen used to have a Thursday night dinner. This year, they began inviting the linebackers. Wilkins and Seiler are two of the main guys. They're always trying to get the team together, Riley said. Those guys are like brothers. Zach and Christian do a great job of getting guys together. A different defensive player would have it at his crib. If they have a condo, they go to the restaurant. A different player picks up the tab each week, Iguavin said. The advantage of that, getting to know guys outside of ball, talking about life, people, real things going on in life. We're getting a lot off of our chest. Football players are not known to go to other people for help, so we can lean on each other for that, Duke Riley said. Armstead does the same with the offensive linemen, inviting them to dinner on Thursdays. Iguavin said, not only do we have a really good team, but we bond better outside of work than past years. Beyond the absence of malcontents on this team, the Dolphins also have a bunch of self-starters who are motivated to work on their craft without imploring from coaches. We have a bunch of guys who are accountable, respectable, and lead by example, Iguavin said. Don't really have too many guys who bark and don't bite. We have a lot of biters. We have a team that we mesh well together. Everything starts with coaching and talent, but don't discount player initiative, accountability, and diligence. 3 characteristics of all of this team's key players. Absolutely love it. Bravo. Love it. I love it. You know, the vibe, the energy, everything changed when McDaniel came in this building, and even the players are tighter than they were under Flores. Everything, I'm sorry, the dark cloud is gone. It's over with. Oh, the sun is shining down. And you're seeing the results show themselves on the field. Brian Flores never had us 8-3. Heading into this game with this kind of ramifications after it. Come on. This is real life, man. And I talked about this earlier this week, you get the sense that the unity these guys have, this team is playing for each other like never before. They're playing for the guy in the next locker room stall. Like, it's just different. And this is the type of winning atmosphere that special teams win special things in. So, man, I can't wait to watch this continue to bloom. And finally, because I had to cover it because it was a story today. Pro Football Talk. I guess Jimmy G. If 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo hadn't had offseason shoulder surgery, he likely would have been traded, and one of the potential destinations apparently was the Miami Dolphins. They were in the conversation. Garoppolo told reporters on Thursday regarding the Dolphins. Not much came from it, but they were definitely one of the teams in the conversation. It seemed like a good spot as an offense. That's a tremendous skill players, everything they got going over there. Mike McDaniel being a great coach. I had been with him the past year, and it was discussed, but I'm glad things worked out the way they did. That's cap. All right, that's cap. I was told, that they were not interested in trading for Jimmy G during this offseason. That's an utter lie, okay? I was told, and I reported this on Patreon, and then I think I even put it up here for all y'all to see. That's an utter lie, man. They never looked in on Jimmy G. Like I reported back in, I believe it was either at the beginning of June or the end of May, first one to break it, that, they installed a lot of stuff in this offense, not only in San Francisco, but what they were doing in Atlanta. That's why I started saying, stop with the Jimmy G comparisons. You got to think Matt Ryan MVP ceiling, because they didn't want to trade for Jimmy G because of the limitations Jimmy G would have had on this offense and what they could do vertically. So no, Jimmy G was not an option. That is cap. I had to address it because I'm sure someone's going to bring it up. Someone's going to talk about it, and I'm here to tell y'all that's straight cap. Don't buy into that one. That is bull, S-H-I-T. See, I'm doing better at, you got to give me props. I'm doing better at censoring myself now that people are telling me kids are watching, eh? Guys, I believe it's, let me double check. It's a 4:20 kickoff, I believe, on Sunday. So it is going to be quite, 4:05 kickoff on Sunday. So we'll be live around 3:40, 3:45 on Sunday to live react to the game. And then we'll be doing the post-game show right after it, right before. We'll do the post-game show leading up to Sunday Night Football, right? We'll do the post-game show. We got a big day. Tomorrow, I'm trying to get something worked out. Hey, Ronnie already knows the homie Crocker, my boy Eric Crocker, Locked On 49ers, been on the show multiple times before, the homie. He was out of town. We're trying to see if we can link up tomorrow and get something out for all of y'all. So if not, I'm going to try and get him after the game. Maybe record something Sunday night and release it, Monday morning for all of y'all or whatever, but I'm going to get something with Croc, the homie. So, former, if y'all don't know who Eric Crocker is, former NFL DB. He now does Locked On 49ers, does stuff for the NFL, NFL.com and the Giants and stuff. He's a great dude. So we're going to get him on. And yeah, that's it, man. I mean, what can I say? It's prediction time. Before we get out of here, I got to give you my prediction. I said on the finish line, I believe that both teams would combine for less than 40 points. Did I not? I did. So here's my prediction. 17-13 Miami Dolphins. I originally had it at 19-14. That was originally what I was going to do, 19-14. But I changed it to 17-13. I think we're going to get playoff football. I think this is going to be a damn good game. I'm excited. Afternoon game. Fox, game of the week, baby. But that's my score prediction. I think the Dolphins will get it done. 17-13. Squeak it out. Squeak it out. And, hey, if they want to blow them out, I'm here for it. I'll be insufferable if we blow them out. And I see some of y'all in the chat are really believing we're going to blow them out. Man, y'all are just disregarding the number 1 scoring defense, the number 10 pass defense, the number 1 rushing defense. Everyone just throwing that out the window. I love it, baby. Hey, I ain't going to knock y'all for being confident. Do you, boo-boo. I ain't going to knock all of y'all. But that's what I see. I think it's going to be a tight game. The contested game. I can't wait, man. This is, this game should be flexed too. Let's be honest. The next 3 games should all be flexed. The 49ers game should be flexed. The Chargers game did get flexed. And the Buffalo game should be flexed, if you want my honest opinion. This game should be flexed. This is going to be a fire game. This is a big time of potential NFC championship contender against a potential AFC championship contender. I mean, that's must-watch football. And instead they want to keep... At least they move Russell Wilson out next Sunday for all of us. They did us one favor, eh? All right, guys. That said, I'm going to get out of here. Enjoy your Friday night. I appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, you already know what I said. The magic number is 3. 3 more wins. We get to 11, and I know we're locked in. Went from 4 to 3. Magic number 3. Let's make it 2, baby. Let's get it. You already know what time it is. I will see all of y'all on Sunday. Love each and every one of you. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Fins up all day, every day, even beyond the grave in which we'll lay. I will see all of y'all on Sunday, baby. Fins up.